telecommunications tax could go a long way to funding the necessary substructure for placing our game in an irreversible path. I want to quickly go here. In grassroots, one of the major problems we have is the level of corruption in sports. And it comes from the top, bottoms down. There are many occasions in Nigeria, for example, before I go further, as much as we say we do not have the fundings, Nigeria spends more money, budgets more money. Now, the federal government of Nigeria budgets more money for sports than any other nation in the world. The money that goes into sports in Nigeria yearly is far bigger than any budget, any other nation's budget in the world. And what do we see? We don't see anything. The more you look, the less you see. The more you look, the less you see. But every day, all you see is that word. We want to, it's a typical Nigerian word, our word. We want to assure you. Assure you. Assure me of what? What are you assuring me? It's delusion. We've got to go away from that. We've got to move further. When I listen to people that have spoken, great people that I have much respect for, that have spoken about the demise of this great nation, then I sit down every day and wonder, when we will come out, when are we going to come out of this? Where we have this kleptomaniac way of doing things. When are we going to come out of it? When are we going to take our youths, these youngsters that make over 60%, about 50 to 55% of the population, when are we going to take them and give them what is their rights? And not politicians sitting here in Abuja, collecting 500 and something million a year and oppressing the young ones. When are we going to come out of it? Nigeria, rise. We speak too much grammar. We must rise to the realities of things. We must fight these things. We have to fight for the youngsters. We have to fight for the future of Nigeria. The future of Nigeria is sports, most importantly, football, because football is the driving factor of this nation. The grassroots policy is very key. The scouting program is very key. I remember when I was the chairman of the Nigerian Football Federation, I was told one morning that they had assembled the under-17 team for the World Cup. And I asked the Secretary General, when did you get to gather these players? Oh, he said, no, a few weeks ago. I said, so where are they? He says, Kaduna. And I remember I asked a vital question. I said, how did you scout for them? None of them could answer me. I asked the Secretary General, how did you scout for these players? He said, no problem. We have the centers all over Nigeria, and we picked them up. But I knew it was not true. So I asked him to bring all the players to Abuja. When they brought these players, majority of them were over 17 years old. They were like 30 years old and connected to different people. I had to disband that team. I had to. And I could say that proudly. I had to. I'm sorry, but the truth has to be said. We have to stop this rubbish. We have to stop this gratification in Nigeria where the brother or cousin of someone in government is put in a team just because he has to be in a team. The scouting program has to go down to the grassroots, into a secondary school system, primary school into secondary system, where kids that have the true value, that have the true capability, that have the drive, that have the talents, are picked and put into those systems. A scouting policy is very, very important in whatever we do. A clearly thought out scouting program cognizant of our circumstances is one of the critical building blocks for the acquisition of available talent. A Lionel Messi, for example, was scouted in Argentina and taken to Spain at age 9. Nigeria, as of today, we do not have the true age 9 players that are talented, that are being groomed for the future of the game. Why? Because we are not focused. Because we are more focused in other things that does not adhere or go with development in this nation. The principal vehicle of this will be the system described later in this paper, which is, I will go later on, the football college or the national regional colleges for sports or for football, the way whichever we want it. Because football and sports generally cannot be divorced. They are one. So, basically, we need to look at critically how these things can be put in place. The scouting policy is very key, both for schools, because I said I will go later on, I'm going to focus more on the regional colleges or the model colleges for football in Nigeria. Now, going to the colleges of excellence. Today the game is so much more than a game. Preparing people for a career in it requires the same type of rigor and discipline that other institutions of higher learning demand and foster. Facilities have to be of highest standards, properly lit turfed football pitches, proper physiotherapy and other medical facilities, suitable accommodation, first-class teaching facilities, and instructors, as well as a commitment to broader functional education. Education is very key. You cannot play football without the brain. Your brain channels what your legs does. If you do not have the brain, you cannot play football. So that must make you understand that any top-class player, any special player, whether he's got that level of education or not, so far he has the fundamentals, the fundamental education into secondary school, into some institute of higher learning. When you're molding in an educated environment, you have world beaters. And Nigeria has the best talents in the world. You can never ever take it from us. Nigeria has the best talents. But we are being crushed, we are being oppressed in a system where what we practice here in governance is worse than what they practice as, I would not, with all due respect, in the days of apartheid in South Africa. It's just the difference is black to black, and that must change. If we truly want to change, all those things must change so that these kids would have a future. The future lies in these children that are below 18 to age 6. And all of you here, I'm sure, have in your area, if you look at it well, a Lionel Messi, you have a Lionel Messi, you have a JJ Okocha, you have different talents. But they do not even know what they have. When I set up the College of Excellence, and I do not want to digress, in Kwara State, with the state government of Kwara State, when we had to carry out the scouting for these kids, the first question, when you ask any of the kids, which position would you like to play? All Nigerian kids want to be strikers. They don't want to play defense. They don't want to be goalkeepers. Every Nigerian kid is a striker. So you can understand our psyche. There's no problem with that. But that same striker you can convert to a left winger, you can convert to a midfielder, either a defensive midfielder or an attacking midfielder. But a typical Nigerian kid wants to be a striker. And indeed, we have strikers in this nation, but we must channel it in a proper way. We are very special strikers. Now, the football college is very, very important for the development of kids. It's very important, but the thing is that I would suggest that in Nigeria, we put up a platform for regional football colleges where kids that are brought from the technical centers in the different regions with talents are brought into the National Football College of Excellence, Regional College of Excellence, to develop. Now, what does it cost the private sector to look into this? What does it cost? What is going to take out the Football Federation and the Ministry of Sports that collects so much money for sports development on a yearly basis to pump money back into that and have a proper educational structure, an enabling environment for these young kids? For you to get excellence, you must set an environment of excellence for